I'm actually very lucky because this is one of those canvases somebody just gave me. A lot of times people that know that you draw, they have things and they say, do you think you can use them? And I said, sure. This is one of those that she got for her kids, and once they finished with it, they didn't want it, and she didn't want it. So she said, you can go ahead and take it, and I'm very thankful for having it. I just decided to paint it, the whole bottom of it, white, because I think that would work. I don't know if there was a different way to set up the canvas, but for me, just painting it white was the easiest thing, and then I could just add the color that I want on top of it. This is where I started adding the bottom coat that I wanted, and I went for a blue. It looks a little muddy, but because I'm going to add different colors to it, I figure it would just mix in. And I wanted to have this effect of a light blue at the bottom with darkness on top, like the sun is setting. And then here I am adding a couple of the stars because I wanted to look like night light. And I did mess up at the bottom. When I sprinkled the stars, they kind of splashed and it messed it up. I tried to cover it and then it did that thing at the bottom. But I'm going to end up fixing it once I start adding the other stuff, which was the rocks that are going to be floating in the sky, because this is the world that I'm creating for this painting. And I did something weird, which I added the yellow to add the rocks. But then when I looked at it, I realized I should have just started with the color that I wanted. And then I had to go back, paint it black, and then go back and use the brown color. I really don't know what I was doing there, but I think at the end it came out really good. Now this is the fun part. It's where I start building the little haunted house on top of the hill. I went for a light color underneath because I wanted the effect of lights being turned on. So I'm going to color it a light color at the bottom that looks like lights, and then I'm going to color the actual color that I want the house on top. I went for purple with a blue roof, and you're going to see how I was doing it, and then I actually ended up messing it up, so I had to fix it outside of the camera and then just show you the end result at the end. But I really liked how it looked when I finished it. I was really happy with it. And you also see a different camera angle, because halfway through the video I found a different way to record the painting so you can see it a little bit better, and that's why there was a shift of color and everything. But I think it's starting to look exactly how I want it. And then this is where I'm just drawing the little details of the trees, because there's going to be trees on top of all these floating hills. And I'm just doing really basic outline of them before I really go in there and start adding the details and making them exactly like I wanted. And right outside the house, I wanted to add some lights, like one of those old type of lights where you have to turn on the candles and then they bright. And then I also added a little fountain right in front of the house, because I thought it would look fine to have a little fountain. Makes the house look like it's a little vintage or something. And here I am detailing the trees. I at least wanted to have 2 trees that were dead, so they were just going to be black on black, so you can see them from afar, but they weren't going to have any green, any life to them. And then around I'm going to add pine trees and other type of trees just to give it some life. And I just had to make sure I got the light right, because I wanted a light source coming from the bottom. So the trees on the bottom are going to be lighter, the ones on the top are going to be darker. And at the end, it came out really good. get to add all the characters that live in this world that I'm creating. In this world, you're going to have ghosts. I thought that for the Halloween season, it would be a cool idea to do ghosts, the ones that look like just like a blanket on top of them, because I thought those will look cute in this painting. And I wanted all of them to be doing something different. So you have some that are just walking by, some that are spying on the other ghosts. There's a couple by the fountain that are just looking at each other lovingly. There's some on top telling ghost stories, or maybe people stories since they're ghosts. And there's even one that's jumping off a cliff because he thought he was a witch. And maybe he made it, maybe he didn't. But since he's a ghost, I guess nothing's going to happen to him. I also decided to have one in the corner that looks like No Face from Spirited Away. And it was a really cool idea. But because they're so tiny, I had so much trouble getting it just right, that once I just got it to the point where I thought I liked it, that's where I left it, because there was nothing else I could do with it. And then I'm adding the details to the faces to make sure they all have different expressions or some kind of different look to them, even though they're all the same. And you can't really see it here because they're so tiny, but once you get the closer look, you'll see that they all came out really cool, and I'm really happy with what I did. And this is the finished product. It took me a couple days to do, but it was actually only like 4.5 hours to complete. And I'm really happy with how it looks. I thought it came out great. The image could have been better, but for now I think that's great. It's a great starting point for me to see how I progress from here on out. I hope you'll like what I did. It was just supposed to be a cute painting. I did it with acrylic. It was really fast. It was small. And if you liked it, thank you. There's my giant name because for some reason I put it really big. If you like it, I would really like a like and a follow. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the painting.